Okay, first of all, I have to introduce myself. My name is Eduardo. I am Peruvian, living here in Mancora since the year 86, but I am from Lima, born in Lima, but because I am living here more than in Lima, now I think that I am more Mancora neighborhood than a guy from Lima, you know.
Yeah.
Well, my first view of Mancora was really in the year 72 when I came with my family, and as I knew at that time, Mancora was a very little town, a fishing town that was start here at the end of the bridge that is here, and arrive more or less. You cannot see now, but there is an antenna. It was half the way of the town that you see now at this very moment. And Mancora was just a little fishing town, and where at that time the resources of Mancora were only, first of all, the fishing, because here in front we have the Bank of Mancora, which is a natural reef about 80 miles away, where the reef was at that time full of fish, and the other natural resource of Mancora was the forest that is on that side. Is the forest of we call the dry forest of the north. In Spanish we say bosque seco del norte, which is dry forest of the north. It's a kind of forest where mainly the vegetation, the natural species there are the carob trees, the bichayo bush, and then the overal bush. Also, there is like a little mango tree, which is another fruit that is food for the animals, for the foxes and well, the animals here. Those resources were the feeding of the town, the resources of the town until the 90s. At the early 90s, the authorities in Lima have discovered that Mancora cannot grow up in population if we don't find another resource, because those resources anyway, the forest, which is to the north, and all these hills surrounding us, was the ancient farm of Mancora. That at that time the farm of Mancora was a resource because of the carob trees were used at that time to make charcoal. They put in big ovens to burn it and turn it into charcoal. But by the 90s, the government is forbidden of not using more the woods for making charcoal. That's the thing, you know. And so because of that, and also because the fishing was almost finished at that time, the government decided to change the growing of Mancora toward the tourists, you know. Anyway, you cannot believe, but at that time, the time that I arrived here at Mancora the first time at the year 1972, the shore was not as you see over there. The shore was here, just nearby on the side of the highway. The thing that happened here, why is the ocean back there, is that at the year 1983 we received a big Ninos season. The phenomenon del Niño brings us strong rains, and as Mancora is a town that is surrounded by two dry river beds, one is this one on this side, which is called Quebrada de la Pepa. It's a dry river bed. In Spanish we say quebrada. Quebrada is a river that is usually dry, but depending on the season, usually during the summer, we receive strong rains that make that river dry. That river runs, sorry. When that river is running very strong, you know, it pushes lots of materials toward the ocean, and later, little by little, the waves push all those materials, all those sand and stones to the shore, and build another sand madras, you know. It's like little by little. And in the year 1983 we received a very strong Nino, and afterwards, the year 1998, we received another very strong Nino that pushed lots of material, and after we have another sand madras that give us like a natural gift for us, for the people in Mancora, so that we can make the town grow in this area. All this area that you are looking out of the highway was the ocean before. Nowadays we have a new land because of the Nino season. So that normally the Nino is giving us first, with the rainy season we are having bad time, but afterwards they give the Nino give us some gift. For example, this new land. Another thing that the Nino give us is that, for example, at the end of the town there is another dry riverbed called Quebrada Fernandez, that usually when that river is running after the Nino, we have river crabs and some species that are good for fishing, you know, for making good meals and everything. Well, that's more or less my speech about this space.
That's lovely. We really appreciate it. I'm curious, do you think that in the U.S. we talk a lot about global warming and how it's hurting seashore and whatnot? Has that been your experience?
Yes.
Is that realistic?
This is in my experience as well, because as you can see earlier, all this surrounding was greener before, because usually during our normal summers we were receiving some about between 8 or 12 rains during the summer, but since the year 95 we are receiving just a rainy season when it's a Nino season, and that's not good, because we are having just since the year 95 just 2 Nino seasons, and that's not good for the surrounding, for the dry woods surrounding us, because little by little are dying, you know. We're having a very big drought since the year 95, and not having the last summer was especially dry. We just had 2 tiny rains that were not enough to give some water to the ground, you know.
So it was greener around here before
that
time?
Yes, before that time. All this hill, I used to drive in bicycle here since the year 86, and it was like a little forest. I used to drive my bicycle in the middle of the trees on this hill, and now it's very dry. It's with no trees, but I'm taking care a little bit of the plants. For example, giving some water 2 or 3 times a week. This is what is called a bichayo. It's a little bush that can grow like a little tree, and because of the bichayo tree, there is an area south from here that is called bichayito, and there are another kind of plants on the area that I'm giving water 2 or 3 times a week to give them a new life, you know. That's my project, is to turn this into a natural park as it was. That's why I'm asking for the people for a little contribution when they arrive here to return for keeping the space and trying to turn this into a natural park.
So do you have a web page that people can donate money to?
Yeah, well, I have a fan page. I don't have a way to in that page at this moment for give me some help, but my page is El Mirador del Faro. That's it. You can see El Mirador del Faro and you can see a bush in front of the lighthouse. That's my fan page in Facebook, and it's always on Instagram. I would appreciate any help that you can give me to my project.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck on your project, and we'll share this online, and hopefully people will help contribute in some way. Maybe add a PayPal link to your website so people can donate, because this is a beautiful project.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.